how to say ladies and gentlemen in gender-neutral terms.
Hey yo, hey yo, hey yo.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to HIC Talk Radio. What a day. What a day in professional wrestling. I'm here as always. Craig Lagans, Derek McDonald. Yeah, we have a lot to talk about. And right off the bat, just to get this out of the way, just gonna, a legend wrestling. I'm here as always. Hit the wrong button. A legend in professional wrestling has died. Hulk Hogan passed away. Anyway, so
about AEW last night. That was
AEW was really good last night. Well, it was good last night. Probably wasn't really good. I'm sure somebody will disagree with me. What you guys think about it? While I'm scrambling to get everything, here.
About the Hurt business, Steve.
I was gonna say they're the APA now, apparently.
Yeah, apparently.
I mean, you could buy them.
Yeah. Well, Edge did. Cope did. Because apparently they just turned them face just like that.
Yeah, just like that.
Yeah, and so much for teasing FTR versus the Hurt Syndicate. You could have held them off for at least till the end of the year, have them not touch each other, and build up, for obviously the only team that could match, the Hurt Syndicate with anyone. And you're having a tag team tournament. So what sense would it make to have the tag team champions come out and beat your potential challengers after the first match? It's a tournament.
Mm-hmm.
So they haven't even announced all the other teams yet. So you have your number one team, the only tag team you have, come out and beat the only other team that could possibly give them a match.
Yeah. And one of your top faces in Adam Copeland is buying help to beat up the bad guys, which I don't remember top guys in WWE paying for APA's protection. It was guys like Taka and Crash Holland, people like that. It wasn't top guy. So,
And then MJF, what are you guys doing? I thought you're gonna, you're hiring out to Cope. You know how long it took me to get in this group, and now it's a business decision. And then Lashley just throttles them out of nowhere. You're not in this Syndicate anymore. Down. It's like
down.
Just like that.
Already. Down.
So I don't know.
He needed help. He is old.
Yes.
That's all I had.
He's old.
I didn't have a real point. I just,
Well, neither does AEW, because their booking continues to be atrocious. I mean, they were coming off their biggest show of the year, and last week their rating they had less than 600,000 viewers, and the rating, the segments with Hangman and the Bucks were the two lowest segments of the whole 2 hours. And Hurts didn't even have a match. And again, the second week in a row, they didn't have a match.
And just, you had this big Texas death match blow off, and, the top hill is dead, and, this group has disbanded, only to have a regular match 2 weeks later on free television.
Yeah. Help me make it make sense. There's nothing there. And I mean, your top babyface, Ospreay, who's now hurt, he gets more time than anyone else. Just doing a promo. And I don't know who the heels are. I don't know who the faces are. And the heels, you're turning face. There's an afterbirth after every match, because no one just beats someone and then go to commercial. No, you beat someone, then this guy's got to run in, and that guy's got to run in, and
fun. Well, the women's match was really good.
Yeah. Well, if we're going to talk about a legend that's passing, not to sidetrack from AEW because I can only talk about it for so long. We're talking about a legend that is huge, an influential part of professional wrestling. And I know I know you mentioned in early, or we're talking about a legend in wrestling and how influential this person is. We have to talk about Ozzy Osbourne.
Hall of Famer,
WWE Hall of Famer. And when I called into our favorite radio show, Dan, I mentioned the true story that had it not been for the Road Warriors, I never would have heard of Black Sabbath or Ozzy Osbourne, because the song Iron Man was so huge back in the early 80s, and the beginning of cable TV and wrestling was going nationwide before the WWF took hold of everything. So you could see the superstars on the Superstation, and being into 116 countries, the Road Warriors came out of nowhere. And when they'd appear on house shows, back when everyone was first starting to come into music, Hogan had, Eye of the Tiger and, Junkyard Dog had Another One Bites the Dust. The Road Warriors came into Iron Man, a song I'd never heard before. And just the start of it, and you have the fans just, organically just clapping in unison. And when the guitar started, Tommy Iommi's guitar started, and Bill Ward's drums, these mammoth individuals would run out of the dressing room at breakneck speed, run down the aisle, sprint under the bottom rope, get up and start beating the shit out of their opponents. And the fans go ape shit. And they were the bad guys. And it's like, holy shit. Who are these guys? So so you had a generation of black kids, inner city youths, blaring Iron Man on boomboxes in Philly, in Brooklyn, in Atlanta, especially in Atlanta, downtown Atlanta, and kept running down the street imitating the Road Warriors because they wanted to run fast and and run into each other and start throwing hands. But that introduced me to Black Sabbath and Iron Man. And because I never heard the whole song because the crowd was so fucking loud I couldn't hear it.
Yeah, I was going to say, right.
Had a chance to listen to it. Oh, by the way, it's a great tune. But that started, and then other people, the Bruce Brothers, speaking of Nazis, which we will in a second.
Yeah,
they came into War Pigs, which was another song I hadn't heard before the entrance music. But yeah, so Ozzy, huge influence in professional wrestling.
When did you realize that Black Sabbath were a bunch of old white English guys? Well, older white English guys.
Always. I just didn't know. I knew what Black Sabbath was. I just didn't know that was their song. I knew who Ozzy was only because I was in high school in the 80s, and every white kid with long hair was carving that into their desk. Ozzy. And had to put the line through the Z's. So that's like, okay, I guess Ozzy something. I did, and I think I told you, or I put it somewhere. I saw Trick or Treat on Halloween night. I saw Trick or Treat in the theater Halloween night in 1986.
Oh, that's right.
I had no idea Ozzy was in it, so I just wanted to see because he looked cool and it was Halloween. And I said, should I see that or Aliens? And I picked Trick or Treat instead of.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. But then I saw Ozzy on that playing the opposite of who he is. He's playing Ozzy was playing the guy, the type of religious figure that was trying to outlaw heavy metal music. He said, these men have got to be stopped. They're a menace to society.
Yeah, I'm going to play it in a second. Well, in those days, like that, he was getting absolutely annihilated. Pun intended. Yeah. Because of his song. And what made me laugh is like the one what makes me laugh to this day is the one that people focus on, or they were focusing on, was Suicide Solution, which is an anti-suicide song. The whole point of the song is not to do it.
Exactly. But because one kid killed himself, one disenfranchised youth, and he happened to be an Ozzy fan, they went right to suicide solution. So, oh, there it is. He listened to it and he killed himself. So we have to, ban heavy metal music.
Here you go. Let me, this is a great scene because if you've never seen it before, Derek, you know what Ozzy looks like, but you've never seen Ozzy like this. Here we go.
And next week, we'll have with us in the studio a truly fine talent and beautiful personality, Miss Muffy Singleton.
Muffy.
And we're back with evangelist and moral crusader, the Reverend Aaron Gilstrom, who's dropped by with some visual aids. We're talking today about rock pornography, and I'll have to agree with you. We have some pretty ribald stuff here. Those rockers really have a strange sense of humor, don't they?
I don't think it's a sense of humor. I think it's sick people. I mean, and they're trying to make everyone else around them
it looks like an entirely different
to their
person.
music, as sick as they are.
Reverend, let me ask you a question. This album, Do It Like a Dog. Now, this has to be about animal behavior, is that right?
Let me give you
Do It Like a Dog.
I have one of the lyrics. Right. Tell me what you honestly think is
Go right ahead.
Gonna drive my long steel missile down on your love channel.
This was
Deep,
1986.
deep, you'll beg for more. Raising hell and serpent score. Feel me, feel me. Now, what does that mean to you? To me, it means nothing but a sexual act.
A sexual act. Yeah, so there's more to it, but yeah, that was one of those perfect castings, really opposite of what you are. Which is, I mean, he got crucified for you, again, pun intended.
Yeah.
But like I said, it was... Ghost had their show in Madison Square Garden that night, and what they said, what Papa said, because he was in character, you don't say Tobias, he wasn't. He goes, we're going to dedicate the show tonight. Thank you, Derek, for getting that. See, that's the perfect band for wrestling fans, by the way. It's a gimmick. It's a show.
Yeah.
Like there's kayfabe, there's not kayfabe, and maybe that's also partly why I'm so attracted to it. But he says we're going to dedicate tonight's show to Ozzy Osbourne, the Prince of Darkness, and being the Prince of Darkness, he sure gave us a lot of light. Because apparently I'm a bigger Ozzy Osbourne fan than I remember. I don't say apparently, it's sarcastic because I won't listen to it for a while and then I'll head into it and just fully into it. But the man, like War Pigs, anti-war, all of his messages, he's a Beatles fan.
Yeah.
He's a dyslexic Beatles fan, and the music saved his life. It got him through that stuff, and he wrote positive stuff 90% of the time. But every now and then, he'd be singing songs about the devil and the occult. But it's kind of like Ghosts. Like, there's this dark imagery, but the message is mostly positive. That's the whole point.
And Ozzy would always say whenever he got a compliment or any thing,
thank you, God bless you.
Close to praise, he'd say God bless you, and he'd say thank God and this and so a devil worshiper wouldn't be saying those things.
Every show, God bless you all, hey you. Yeah. Come on, guys. Use your brain. Use your brains.
Yeah.
So,
but yes,
it's
and
funny,
also, go ahead.
And I was going to say my introduction to him. Well, it's funny Craig brings up Iron Man because my family's from the South, right? So all my older cousins, they all grew up watching NWA. So they would play Iron Man, and I would just hear these songs. And I remember we'd go down there to visit before football games. They'd play Iron Man to get themselves hyped up. And then they played War Pigs, all these songs. But my introduction to him was on the reality show, the Osbourne. I remember one day I was watching it and my grandfather goes, "Oh, you know that song we always played, Derek?" And I was like, "Yeah, the rock and roll song." He goes, "Yeah." He goes, he's the lead singer. And I'm like, this guy who's mumbling it and his wife and kids are driving him crazy. And he's like, "Yeah." And that was my introduction to him. But in certain Black households, there's certain music that breaks the color barrier. And it seems like in my family in the South, it was all the UK bands. Anybody from across the pond, whether it was, Sting and the Police or Bowie or, Genesis and Black Sabbath, which are completely on the other side of all those bands, they made the cuts. My grandpa.
Yeah, you mentioned a hell of a spectrum there.
Yeah, and like my uncles have like all these vinyls, and we would see the Black Sabbath, and they just would stick out, but everything looked cool. I went to school. One of my best friends in school growing up was Thomas. His dad was like a huge Ozzy fan, so you'd go in the basement, and like Craig said, he had Ozzy with the line through the Z's on the walls and this and that. So he definitely is a guy who jumped cultures. He was seen when you would see him, he seemed like a very sweet man, like the complete opposite of what you would see on stage. But I am glad that he got to play his farewell concert before he went, and got to see how much everybody loved him. He was just 2-3 weeks ago, so I'm glad he got that in. But he was a hell of a character.
What you see with Ozzy is what you get, and what helped was, and we could argue, the mean streets of Birmingham, England. But he was a blue-collar, off-the-street kid. That's why he punctured that bubble. That's exactly why.
Yes.
Part of it. You know what I mean? He right off the street. I have a feeling when the news was breaking, and not to get spiritually, culturally, he has said many times in interviews, I can't live without performing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, that was it.
He out on his shield, and he starred in the most he raised $190 million for Parkinson's, and all the profits went to Park. But that's the highest money raised for any single concert in history. And that was him. Just 2 weeks ago.
And just to bring it home for Craig and I, for Live Aid at JFK Stadium, it was at Wembley and it was at JFK, but Black Sabbath, you'd think, oh, they must have played in England. They were in Philadelphia.
Really, and that was the first. That was the first time I'd ever heard Iron Man live. Was that Live?
Oh yeah, you got a straight up closed circuit. Oh, there you go.
Oh, that's him. Oh wow. Okay, yeah. Black Sabbath was in Philly.
And just a quick aside for me, you mentioned Genesis, Derek. They were buddies. Ozzy and Phil were buddies. Ozzy loved drummers. Like, as much as he loved guitar players, loved drummers. And we could debate the reason the Queen's Jubilee concert happened, not here on this show. But Phil was the drummer for the show, and he played Paranoid with Tony and Ozzy. And it was like, that sounds fine. that sounds good. That's a good drum. He was a Sabbath fan. He was a Zeppelin fan, but we know how that went. He even posted, Phil's social media's posted the picture of the two of them at, when Genesis first got back together in 2007, it was VH1 Honors. They were both there, and there's a great picture of Ozzy just hugging him and trying to kiss him, and Phil just laughing. I'm gonna miss Ozzy.
I don't think he gets enough. I don't want to say love for the Ozfest stuff that he did, like, and when he had his festival, and it was like a rock thing, but then he started bringing in the rappers and all these other groups towards the end, and it was a big stage for some of these little bands and little acts. So he affected music in a very selfless way.
You can thank Ozzy and Sharon for that.
Yeah. And most notably Sharon, because Sharon really was the engine that drove us, took care of everything. If you have a chance to see the Billy Joel documentary, and even if I say this about any documentary, any good one, even if you're not a fan of the subject, it's just a fascinating look at how the music business works.
Oh yeah.
Billy Joel's then girlfriend, he was going through managers early in his career because his first record deal, he got hosed. I mean, terrible. I mean, the biggest song of his career, Piano Man, he made $7,000 from that total to this day.
Yes.
How much he made on that. And the person he signed with is going to get like royalties for the next 10 years or whatever money he made. And he was going through managers, and finally he's going to, you want me to do it? Because she sat in with all and saw how what was going, and she took over and just really set Billy Joel's career where it is now. And Sharon did the same thing for Ozzy. She negotiated his venues, his everything right down to his dressing room. And that was all Sharon, and saying, I think you should do this, or you should do this show, or should not do this show. I mean, obviously Ozzy had say, but it was Sharon who was always looking out for in his best interest. And you see with Ozzy's career, she was right pretty much all the time. Outside of the snorty dance thing.
Well, pissing on the Alamo also didn't help.
Yeah, and they mentioned this on Press and Steven. If you've ever been to San Antonio, the Alamo is like
It's
right
just
in
there.
And it's surrounded by a wall. So if you're out pissed drunk somewhere and you need to pee, you need to take a piss, that's a fine wall to do it on. And without knowing that he didn't, everyone say, he pissed on the Alamo. It's not like, it's like saying I pissed on the Liberty Bell. To get to the Liberty Bell, there is like so many other things that will have to happen. So if I was outside of it, which is very, again, a lot of big walls, a lot of empty space, you could say, yeah, I pissed on the Liberty Bell, but it's nothing like that.
Oh, there it is right there. For anybody watching, there's a good shot of it. It's just there. Like that, and all those the roped off stuff, none of that was there before.
No, and see,
we're talking about 82, I think. Yeah,
and we see the people coming in to the left of that. Those are the walls on the outside of the quote unquote Alamo, and that's where Ozzy was, on the other side of those big stone walls that they broke through to make an entranceway. That's where Ozzy was. So,
now the Alamo did post something and basically was like, listen, it was a long time ago and he didn't know.
Yeah.
And years later, he went to the mayor of San Antonio.
Yeah.
And like, I'm sorry. And they went on a tour with Jack. I forgot the name of the TV show. They didn't get it right on Press of Steve's. I still don't know what the name of the show is. But
it was traveling with Jack.
Yes. And mate, like you could tell, like he learned something that day. Well, and the ironic thing about it is because they're buddies. Phil's a big Alamo dude.
Yeah.
Like there's a whole wing of the Alamo. I'm bringing up the map there. That's right on the street. That's how you don't know. It's right there. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just there. And Phil has a whole wing dedicated to him now because he has so much. He had collected so much through the years touring America that he had the world's largest private Alamo collection that he donated back to the museum for them to display. Because he's like, what am I going to do with it? So, and I would like to hope that there was a conversation. Phil pulled Ozzy's side once and goes, dude, what the fuck, man? Come on.
Yeah.
You asshole.
What do we do?
What are we doing here? Ozzy's like, I don't know. I don't know. It was just there. I did want to back. Go ahead, sir.
I was going to say that show that you mentioned with him and Jack. They visited, I believe it was Alabama State, an HBCU, and they were learning about the history of the marching band. And it's funny you mentioned him with the drums because they did a tribute to Ozzy. I think they played. Did they play Iron Man? They played one of his songs, and he was like looking in amazement at the drum section, like he looked like a kid looking at a Christmas tree being lit up for the first time. I think the same band. I think they did a tribute to him yesterday. I think it's Alabama State, if I'm not mistaken. But just to see his eyes when the drummers came marching in, like he had this huge look on his face. You could tell he just loved the music in general.
I don't think I don't think he did fully grasp how big he was. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I really don't. Like, I know he knows because he was rich and, you know, I've seen the Osbournes, you know, we've all seen the show.
He knows who he is, but he
Surprise!
never like understood the respect. I got how he sees the other folks. Yeah, here it is.
I found it. They're playing.
And look, he's just amazed at what's happening.
Well, the intro to that was Perry Mason.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa, I need to hear that again. Hold on.
Take two.
I always tell people, if you want to see a good show, go to an HBCU like halftime show.
Oh yeah.
One of the best shows in the world you'll ever see.
He even said it. You see it. You heard it in the background where you're talking. I heard what you said, Derek. But he hears Perry Mason. That's crazy. That's one of my favorite Ozzy songs. Oh, damn. I need to watch more of them. I didn't know that was happening.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. I never watched the show, and we're going to move on from that. I'm glad you said something, Derek and Craig, because I'm going to add that to the list, because what I also discovered, and I just ripped them and burned them to DVD, because I have the first 2.5 seasons on Osbourne's on DVD that they released through MTV.
Mm-hmm.
They never released season 3 or 4. They never did. The Osbourne's YouTube page, the one that their management and them are running, have the last 2 seasons on their YouTube page in original generation without censor. So I ripped that shit.
I love that shit.
I ripped that, but what they also have is them. They've done a podcast for like 2 years together, all of them. And one of the things they would do. One of the things they would do is rewatch the episodes and kind of do like a commentary on them. And I'm like, oh, how did I not know, A, that this existed, B, I got a lot of rewatch now. Because I didn't, and I've seen clips and it's fucking hilarious. Ozzy talking about going to bed with 13 dogs. He goes, I don't like the dogs. And Jack calls him out. Jack calls him out and he goes, I love it. I love going to dog. One of the best things in the world is going to sleep with all of these dogs. Ozzy's not bad. It's not bad.
It's not bad.
But I only heard about the Dave Matthews one yesterday after he passed, when MMR was doing their tribute. I did not know Matthews plays Ozzy in an SNL skit, and it was fine. The impression's okay, but when he got down was, I think you scared Dave Matthews, and him as Ozzy goes, what is Dave Matthews not scared of? Nailed it. You fucking nailed it. Yes. Craig, did you want to close this off?
No. I mean, yes.
No, I mean,
absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah. No, absolutely incredible, influential musician, person. You know, he had an influence not just on me, but on so many other types of genres. Ice-T mentioned him quite a bit after he passed. Flavor Flav also has some very nice things to say about Ozzy. I remember they met on the set of Private Parts. If you remember the first scene in Private Parts,
right?
And for whatever reason, they hit it off, and they remained close. And cut to 10, 12 years later, when after Ozzy had the Osbournes and Flav got Flavor of Love, which wouldn't exist without the Osbournes. The Osbournes ushered in an entire a new generation of television. If it weren't for the Osbournes, they wouldn't be Kardashians. They wouldn't be Flavor of Love or any of the reality show.
Thank you.
Yeah, question mark. Thank you.
It's like, yes.
But they reunited again when they would have they would call them upfronts when networks would present their new season of shows, and Ozzy was on MTV and Flav was on VH1. It was the same production company, so they would reunite at the upfronts, and they remain tight for they go back a long way. So yeah, and Ozzy didn't discriminate. The people that loved Ozzy loved him, and Ozzy loved him right back.
Did not care.
Yeah, he was on Howard Stern a lot, and Howard loved him, and he was a great guest. And yeah, like you said, in the WWE Hall of Fame, someone who deserves it.
WrestleMania 2. He was there. I don't think he remembers, but he was there.
Yeah, he in the corner, the British Bulldogs and Captain Lou Albano when they won the WWF Tag Team Championships from Greg the Hammer Valentine and Brutus Beefcake. Still don't know who that man was who grabbed Beefcake's leg as he was trying to come into the ring to prevent the pin, but the British Bulldogs would win their first and only World Tag Team title at WrestleMania 2, which I saw on closed circuit television.
Some bullshit.
Yeah.
When you say it out loud, it's one of those things you go, what?
That was, and that was when they had the great idea of having WrestleMania 2, only the second one, in 3 different locations, in Los Angeles, Chicago, and Long Island, New York, in Nassau Coliseum.
And they will never do it again.
Yes. Curious, though, that the Long Island Coliseum show with Macho Man Randy Savage, who did he fight? It wasn't George Wells. It was somebody else. But Savage's was the only one that sold out. Hogan in the LA Sports Arena main evented against King Kong Bundy in a cage with Robert Conrad as the ring announcer.
George
Steele. No, not a WrestleMania 2.
Macho Man?
Yeah, Macho Man. Who did he wrestle in WrestleMania 2? Because I know Jake Roberts beat George Steele with the. Jake Roberts beat George Wells with the. Snake.
Yeah, Randy said that's the George Steele. Yeah, for the Intercontinental match.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't like correcting the professor, but I'm like, I know that.
I didn't remember who he wrestled only because most of their matches after that became more wild and woolly. This is before all the Elizabeth crap happened.
Well, I was gonna say the reason I remember I can't talk. I don't even know why I'm trying. The reason I remember that is because George does like a kayfabe work shoot promo or interview on the Best of WrestleMania, which came out around 14, where he says, I just wanted Elizabeth to wash my windows because my wife doesn't wash my windows. I just wanted to know if she could wash my windows. He said that straight up, and I was like, yeah, I get it. That's good. It's like, wait a minute.
No, but the main event in the Nassau Coliseum was Roddy Piper and Mr. T, which was a shoot.
I was just saying because Roddy was about ready to kill him.
Yeah, when he threw that stool at Mr. T, and Joe Frazier was in Mr. T's corner. That was real. They did not like each other.
Every time I think of Joe Frazier now, I think the most amazing fucking commercial I've ever seen, which I showed you guys. But go ahead.
Yeah, but he was in Mr. T's corner, and Lou Duva was in Roddy Piper's corner. Piper, who has a legitimate boxing background, he was a Canadian Gold Gloves fighter, and Jim Cornette told the story when he saw Piper in '83. He was a heel, and a guy reached over and tried to hit Piper or grab Piper, and Piper, he said, "I've never seen someone hit someone so many times with so many fists, and each one connecting, and each one harder than the previous one." Yeah. Just bam, bam, bam. So yeah, so Piper could fight, and his boxing thing wasn't a fluke. He didn't know how to box.
I saw an interview with Piper, and they were like, what were you thinking when you threw the stool? He was like, I was just praying and hit Mr. T and it didn't hit Joe Frazier. Even at that point in time, I wanted another Joe.
No, Joe would have killed him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mr.
Joe would have knocked
T
off
was a boxer, was he not?
He was, yeah.
So I mean,
as far as boxing, Yeah, as far as boxing skill, and T's trying. You see right there, he's telling T what to do.
Yeah.
When he pushed him back.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I'm trying to get to the stool.
Yeah, there's Randy's spot.
After that.
Guy I was legitimately afraid of.
What was I gonna say? Oh, I forgot. Damn it! It was connected to that.
Look at that. They're so afraid of Joe. Everybody's holding him back instead of breaking up the fight.
That's it. Don't let Joe hit anybody. That's the. Just to keep it on the WWF WrestleMania thing, when you go back to WrestleMania 1, when Ali's at ringside, there's a punch that, and this, how long was Ali retired by the time WrestleMania happens?
WrestleMania 5, he
3, 4, 5 years?
It was 6 years. Yeah.
Okay.
And his last fight was in 1980. It's Trevor Burbick.
So he's supposed to keep order. He's like the backup for the ref. And at one point, when Bob Orton's at ringside, and I know I'm going to make Derek laugh when I bring this up, because, he's working the match, but Ali's in it. Like, he wants to swing. Like, he wants to hit somebody, man. And he swings at Bob right as Bob's jumping back down off the apron. That was fucked up. Off the apron.
Yeah.
To the ground, and his arm goes so fast that it misses Bob Orton's face by like that much, and the camera just cuts to Bob, and you see him go, "Motherfucker," because he almost died.
Yeah. It's like when Floyd punched Big Show like 100 times in like a second and broke his nose.
Oh.
Yeah.
I remember the last time I saw someone get that many shots in 3 seconds and each shot was harder, it was Dr. J punching Larry Bird.
Yeah.
Oh.
Craig, I have forgotten about that. And then for some reason, I was going to bring this up first, but then Hogan died, so we had to do that at the beginning. But I've been on a Larry Bird kick because, admittedly, I started watching right after he retired, like the year he retired. So I never watched him, but I always grew up knowing Larry Bird's the great.
Yeah.
But then I started talking to Kelly about it, and her dad was a basketball player, so she would have watched Larry, and I was like, I don't think I knew how good he was until I saw. Then I started watching highlight clips and trash talking clips of Larry Bird, and then we got to him and Dr. J. And I think, is it Malone or is it Mo Cheeks that holds him from behind?
It's Barkley, and you got to hear Barkley's side of the story.
Yeah, and he said, "Let me go."
And then he said, and now he said, for the rest of my life, it looks like I'm holding Larry Bird for Doc to hit him, and that's not what I was doing.
But Doc took the opportunity, man.
Yeah,
he had enough of Bird, and I'm not saying it's right, but it's a big man punching another man, another big man. Boom, boom, gets 2 shots in before they finally bring it up. I'm like, ooh.
And it started from Larry Bird's trash talking, because he was telling Doc, "You can't guard me, old man. Somebody get this old man off me." And Doc got frustrated. And here's the thing: how close, and he and Doc, remained close, and they've always had. Larry Bird will talk about his father's suicide, but he won't talk about the fight he had with Dr. J.
Well,
to this day.
What? Because it fucks with him?
I don't know, but he doesn't have any problem with one of the worst periods of his life. And here, watch Barkley's going to go after, and Billy Cunningham giving it to, and the camera missed it all.
Listen, that's a fucking foul. I love you, Doc, but that's a foul, and Larry Bird's not happy. Misses it. It's the replay you got to see. Where is it? Here it is.
You can tell that's rookie Charles because he has no idea what to do. He's like,
what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? Yeah. Boom. Oh, man, those are solid shots, man. Those are so fucking solid. Those aren't jokes, man. It's not like a hockey fight.
And notice Kevin McKell was right there and he didn't jump in. He just had his arms
I got your back, Larry.
If you ever find yourself in Norristown, PA, at Chef Keith's Barbecue Soul Pit, you will find in a huge, that where it says he hurt his boo, a huge, I would say 14 by 18 foot picture of Dr. J hitting Larry Bird. Chef Keith has that picture blown up, and that's the first thing you see when you walk into this amazing Chef Soul makes the best barbecue in the entire East Coast. But if you walk into the establishment in Norristown, you see this huge mural of Dr. J hitting Larry Bird.
Let's see what this says. You said you need Barkley's side. Let's see.
Larry Bird was a great trash talker. And he's like, Charles, y'all better get this old man off me. And this was Doc last year, I think. He was right there. It was either last year or the year before. And he's killing Doc. And he's like, Chuck, I'm telling you for the last time, you better get over here because I'm going to kill this old man. And it goes on up and down. And Larry just killing him. And Doc had just had enough. And I just had them, they come together, and I just kind of grabbed Larry. I'm not even looking at Doc. When I went back and looked at the tape, Doc was nailing his ass. I was just trying to pull guys apart.
Yeah, but you know you can't, in a fight, you can't grab one unless somebody grab you. Hey, you grab him.
I grabbed Larry because I didn't want him hitting Doc.
But ain't nobody grab Doc.
I know. But you just said something. If I grab Doc and Larry started pummeling, I can't go back to Philly. So I grabbed Larry to stop him from hitting Doc, and Doc wailing away.
That's one of the damnedest things I've ever seen. I was like, I don't remember that.
Yeah, I do.
It's funny because Doc he grew up a town over from me, Roosevelt, New York. And there's like streets named after him. Mm-hmm. I played basketball when I played basketball in high school and middle school. All the gyms are named after him. If you go to any basketball court, even to this day, you see any old timer, and he goes, "Hey, how good was Julius Erving?" They'll tell you he was a bad man on and off the court. They'll tell you those big old hands. They tell you nobody would mess with Doc on or off the court.
Yeah,
he was a bad man.
He was a bad. You know the crazy thing about Roosevelt, Long Island, and Roosevelt High School, within like a 10 or 15 year period, at Roosevelt High School, Dr. J went to that school.
Yep.
Eddie Murphy went to that school. Howard Stern went to that school. Yep. Flavor Flav and Chuck D went to that school.
Yep, Chuck D. Yeah, yep. A lot of people went there. Yeah.
You know, all within like a 10, 15 year period. They all went to that school.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. All right, Roosevelt.
We got,
and it's not, it's not a big town either.
No, that's what makes it so crazy that that tiny little space, all those incredible, you know, entertainers went to that same school in that tiny little. Mm-hmm. We have 13 minutes, so and I want to hear because we have a limited time with Derek.
Oh, the whole thing I wanted to say? Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. I just wanted to get your thoughts on this because this was making me laugh. I have it up on the screen here. I'm going to read it to everybody. Spandex_pod on Threads. So from what I understand, WWE NXT copied an old AEW angle this week by putting a nationalist makeover to a mid-card title and had Undertaker come out to a pop of rating after all-time low last and to bury. That is terribly written. I didn't realize how bad that was written until right now. And it has a picture of the NXT North American title with the Canadian wrapping, which is the best way I've seen it done. The second best is what I'm going to mention. Philip Trombetta. Yes, that's all WWE does. It's just rip off everything AEW does. And it's usually so blatant and almost immediately after. So I replied with a picture of Lance Storm from WCW Nitro and Thunder with the Saskatchewan Hardcore International title, the Canadian title, and what was the hardcore title? No, what was the other? What did he call it? Oh, something.
It wasn't in a different metric.
Yeah, I forget what it was called.
Kilo.
120 kilo under title.
Yeah.
Which he put.
Like that,
the other one he named the Saskatchewan Heavyweight International title, which of course means shit.
Well, it was originally they went to Brett. They asked if it was if they could name it the Stu Hart International title. He's like, no.
No,
Uh,
no.
Because if AEW is anything, AEW fans is a microcosm of white Republicans, or they just want to be oppressed in the worst way. Only AEW gets ripped off. Nobody ever got ripped off before. It only started happening now. Even though wrestling for the last 400 fucking years has been the cycle of the same shit over and over again in different wrapping, this is the first time it ever happened in AEW. I want a refund. Sorry. Fucking shut up. God damn it. And Philip replied, yeah, sure. This was done 30 years ago. AEW did this a couple months ago. And not only did they...
I mean...
Is this man replying to me? No, he's replying to Phil. Good. I was about to fucking cuss that guy out, but he's on my side. Good.
I was going to say, it's so... I mean, you go back, Warrior... Remember when Warrior had, like, the yellow strap on the IC title? Like, this isn't I think Shawn Michaels had the white IC title. This isn't a new thing in wrestling. I mean, look, if you're going to be an AEW defender and you're copying AEW, you can't say that while Darby Allin is standing in the rafters like Sting in 1997. You can't really do that. It's wrestling. And not for nothing, I watched the segment with Ethan Page, and Ethan Page was amazing, and he's great on the microphone.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed it. And I think they're referring to the MJF thing. I think that thing only lasted like 2 weeks, and then he lost the belt. It didn't last very long. But it's wrestling. Everybody copies everything. Cut it out.
Yeah, that was my point, because they were like, you just hate AEW. No, my point is... It is yes, Craig does, but my point is, like, it is literally, and I don't mean this in a negative way. I've said this 400 times on the show. It's on the record. Wrestling is a cycle of what came before it in a different wrapping over and over again. You can only tell movies, music. You can only tell the same. A new story so many times before it's just a rehash of another story. That's the way it is. Yeah. This happened before. It's going to happen again. And maybe AEW will be around. Maybe not. You better hope the shit they are, because I'm going to bookmark this conversation and go, oh, what happened?
And was it you, or was it one of you guys who who talked about all the different times the belts have been changed by different people? I mean, Cena's spinner belt, Daniel Bryan's eco-friendly belt,
Austin had a belt,
Austin's gold belt, even Rock's had the Brahma Bull belt.
Yep.
You know, so
everybody,
so this is.
But if we're talking just Canadian,
okay, that's what it is.
No, you're right. But I'm just saying, if we narrow it down further to the Canadian thing, you best give Lance Storm his fucking flowers, because I am not having any Lance Storm disrespect on this fucking universe.
And he was doing that when WCW was like in the dumps. He was the best thing about that show. I'm mad they never put the world
on that show.
And this is right after he came from ECW, and right away he gets the single biggest push that any ECW wrestler has ever gotten. Coming to WCW, he wins every title. He goes undefeated for 6 months, and then done.
And for better or for worse, he got Tylene Buck and Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Yeah,
I remember that. Yeah.
For better or for worse, it was good.
Did they ever explain why they didn't ever put the world title on him?
No.
Oh, I don't know. Did Hogan cry about it? Who was champ at the time? Oh, Jeff Jarrett. Jeff Jarrett.
Oh, okay. I remember him having matches
off him.
I remember he had matches with Booker when Booker was champion, and I thought, they're gonna put the belt on Lance, and they didn't. But on hell, Elix Keeper got over with him too. He had a whole little team.
I would have loved an alternate timeline. I was rooting for it then, even though I boo this man. I was like, give him the world title. That'd be so funny if he slaps a fucking Canadian sticker. No, it's the Canadian title. Fuck you. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
On the other side of that, and I want to preface this by this has nothing to do with politics. I don't give a flying motherfuck. I don't give a flying fuck into a rolling donut about The Undertaker.
Welcome to Craig World.
Why did
What?
you choke slam Trick Williams?
What the fuck did I just have to sit through? We want to talk about AEW booking? Let's shit on this because this is the dumbest fucking thing I've ever seen. You give that man 2 belts and you immediately have him butt fucked on national TV by a man who can almost stand up straight.
Oh,
Yeah.
and that's after he cut that great promo on Raw where he told The Undertaker, he was like, you're acting like your knees don't have an expiration date on it. He just ran Taker down in like the best fashion. And he pokes him out on the mic, then he chokeslammed him.
Now, naturally, this is great if they have a match and he beats The Undertaker. This is the whole point of that.
Yes.
But do you see this match happening? It better
Did you see how he
not.
looked in the ring? Did you see how he looked in that ring? How he was moving?
Like, get me the fuck out of here. I've done it. I'm the guy. The only thing I can see in this, the only way to save this, because this is all bad, and this is not going to make Trick look good. I know y'all look alike. I know. It's not going to make Trick look good unless Taker then brings somebody in.
He has to, right? One of the guys from the show, I guess.
Because on top of I'm a fat guy sitting here. I got nothing to say. The man wrestled for almost 400 years. He paid his dues. That is the reason he can't move. So it better be him being in a corner.
It has to be.
I would say that. I would say that, Dan, but we're talking about a SummerSlam match involving Jelly Roll.
So thanks for the reminder. Yeah, great.
They do that shit. Having Undertaker in a tag team match shouldn't be that far. I don't want either one of them anywhere near inside a ring. Being a manager, being a second, fine.
Does Paul remember what happened the last time Undertaker was in a tag team match?
He was there. He should. He's a part of it.
He better.
Thank you, Derek. Yes.
Or Shawn Michaels out there trying to hold everything together
with his bald head.
And the fact that he can't, he's got a lazy eye. I can say it. I have one. He's looking at Taker thinking it's Kane, and Kane looking, what am I doing? Right? Come on, guys. Do not do this to me.
No, that was an embarrassment.
And it's so bad. Trick, he just looked like a star. Like he had the chain on, and he's wearing his suit with no shirt on, and you get punked out by somebody's grandpa.
Wait, Dark Sage. Shout out to Dark Sage on the Twitch chat. Dark Sage 9117. Hulk Hogan is trash. The end. Correct.
Yep.
that is basically how the segment went. Just to replay it for you, Dark Sage. This is how it went. Hey everyone, Hulk Hogan died today. Anyway, and then we moved on to everything else. That's what he deserved.
Yeah.
Crowd booing. All American, real American rat. How many tickets did his company sell since he died? Let's check it out.
You'll be happy to know Bischoff released a statement that said All American Wrestling will continue.
Oh, I'm so God.
And Hogan's memory.
Well, now that Bischoff is a public face of it now, that should really boost the ticket sales.
Not Fred or whatever the fuck his name is. What's the other guy?
It was Hulk and Ben Askren who just had double lung, had to get a double lung implant. I don't think he's going to be there.
Good.
So I think it's just Eric and Kurt on Kurt Angle on commentary. I guess.
Well, they've upgraded to 1,084 tickets.
Okay.
Still less than last Nitro. Anyway. Yeah, no, this is a Hulk Hogan is trash podcast. Sorry.
Yeah.
And to everyone asking, why would you say such a thing? No, I don't give a fuck. I don't care.
And don't tell me I have to praise the guy because he slammed a giant in 1984. That doesn't, erase everything. And I had this conversation with somebody. People go, yeah, well, Terry Bollea was a bad guy. Hulk Hogan was a great. No. Hulk Hogan was a bad guy too.
Hulk Hogan was a piece of shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
My retort to that is, because apparently when you die, you become a saint. And it's like, don't speak ill of the dead. If I had plenty of reasons to speak ill of him when he was alive, why should anything change?
Yeah.
Being dead does not make you a saint, does not make you good. What I posted today on Facebook, and it's been shared to many different posts and many different wrestling posts. I don't know if you read it, Derek, but
I did, yeah.
okay, but the good and bad and the ugly. It's like, if you shouldn't have said anything, if you don't have anything nice to say, I said plenty of nice things about Hogan. I still have plenty of nice things to say about Hogan. I've paid to see Hulk Hogan multiple times. He has a lot of my money that I paid to see, and that my nephew who wanted to see Hogan after the bloom had been off the road for me for years, but he wanted to see Hulk Hogan. So I have plenty to say, and plenty of good things to say about him, the good things that he did. On this very podcast, we praised his work in the AWA. He could move for a 300-pounder. AWA Hogan, Japan Hogan, that was maybe the best 300-pounder in the biz. I'll give it to him. I put him over Bruiser Brody during that certain period because he could move, and with a guy that big, and he was the right time. He had the right look, the right time, the right place. That's how it was. So I'll ask you, since it's such an important. Derek, where were you when you heard the news?
Let's take a shit.
I was online to get lunch at Wendy's.
Wow.
and I told you my brother texted me, the orange colored racist has died. And I thought he was talking about somebody else. And because we were just talking about South Park. Anybody who hasn't seen the first episode of South Park, watch it. It's hilarious. And I was just like, oh, I know he's not talking about. And then it popped up on my phone. I was like, huh. Okay. You know, and continue to look at what salad I wanted. But yeah, it didn't stop my. It wasn't like when Macho Man died where I kind of stopped in my tracks. Yeah, it wasn't the same.
That was big. Macho was a complete and utter shock, especially the way he died. You know, because for so long we thought he died in a car accident, and then to find out that he had a heart attack while he was driving. Eddie is still the one that still.
Oh yeah. Oh.
The only one that gets me still to this day, and I
think I cannot fathom why such cowardice because the man died. Yeah, when you say anything about him, well, he'd say plenty about you.
He said plenty about me, so
yeah. And then it's the ones who will prove he's a racist. Like, did you not?
Really? What audio do you want me to play? What form do you want it in? And do you want it in alphabetical or numerical, motherfucker?
Yeah, the one where he calls himself a racist.
Yes, that one.
Yes, we're all a little racist. No,
we're not.
No, Hogan. No, Terry. Some of us grow up past that racism.
Or the ones attacking me after I posted it. It's like, oh yeah, I guess you're just perfect, huh, Craig? It's like, no, I'm not perfect. I'm also not a fucking racist.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I'm not racist. Yeah, a lot of things. Guess what? Not, sir.
I have a black friend.
Oh, okay. I take it all back.
I have 2 black friends. Okay.
Yeah, but it's like, or the person. I think I don't know if you read it, Derek. When I after I posted on a different wrestling page, he goes, while I don't condone what Hulk Hogan said, there's too much divisiveness in America right now. So I'm giving you an hour to edit this post. 1 hour, capital letters, or I'm going to take it down.
Okay. I'm giving you 1 hour to suck my entire penis.
Imagine saying that. There's too much decisiveness in this country. Don't you say anything bad.
So let me be decisive, bitch.
Yeah.
We need to come together.
Yeah, and I wrote back, and it took me so long to write back because I'm trying not to curse at this person who's a total stranger. I said, if we're divisive in this country, it's because of people like Hulk Hogan spreading it, and people like you trying to ignore it.
It's because he's a cracker.
If you want me to censor it, it says more about me than it does about you. And take it down, leave it up. I don't give a fuck. The truth is still the truth. So I didn't mention a single lie. So, I
just want to say your paragraph about him as a wrestler and what he did for wrestling was much longer than the bad one.
Thank you.
Yeah, exactly.
But apparently if I've got nothing good to say, I shouldn't have posted it at all. I did have something good to say about him.
Well, if you have nothing good to say about black people, shut the fuck up. But you don't shut the fuck up, do you? No, you throw the N-word out there like it's giving out candy.
And then
So
I had
fuck
people
you.
telling me, he was a part of your childhood. Sir, I was 1 year old when he wrestled Andre in the Pontiac Dome. He wasn't a part of my childhood. By the time I was old enough to enjoy wrestling, I was into Macho King and the Hart Foundation and Perfect. He was just the weird guy doing stuff with Sergeant Slaughter. And then they go, well, what about the NWO? I was a Sting guy.
Fuck the NWO.
And it was Nash and Hall that I liked. It wasn't Hulk Hogan. It was Nash and Hall and X-Pac. It wasn't Hulk. But yeah.
Again, look at Starrcade 93 and then look at Starrcade 94.
Compare
and
and
that's
contrast.
how I feel about Hulk Hogan. Let's not even fucking talk about what he was after and what he was in private and as a person. That is all I need to say about Hulk Hogan. Starrcade 93, Starrcade 94. How much did that help? Well, they're not around anymore.
Brutus Beefcake main evented a Starrcade and Booker T never did. That is a crime.
Yes, that's a Hogan influence. And I had another. I want to give this analogy where people are saying that you need to separate the man from the wrestler. See, here's the thing.
Separate my foot.
Or just concentrate on what he did as a wrestler. Well, because I had the same argument 30 years ago with OJ. OJ is one of the greatest running backs of all time. Will always be one of the greatest running backs. He's always going to be in my top 5. I can separate the football player from the man because as a football player, he was top notch. I can't separate Hogan because as a wrestler, he was still a piece of shit because he was a self-serving asshole. So I can't. We'll just concentrate on his wrestling career. His wrestling career is marked with all the shit that he wouldn't do, the people he wouldn't put over. The reason why there's still no union in professional wrestling is because Hogan stooged to Vince back right before we just saw WrestleMania 2. Jesse wanted to get the and went to Hogan along with all the Hogan, Slaughter, all of them, and said, guys, we never have more power than we have right now. If we unionize and say we're not going to go on unless we get benefits, we get health insurance, we get retirement, whatever, dental, that he can't do a show without us. If we stick together, we can get what we want.
Mommy, he's going to form a union.
And Vince calls everyone in, says, any of you you're unionizing, you're fired. 2 months later, Jesse gets fired. Slaughter quits.
That's nuts. Like, he didn't even say, he could have just said no, which would have been bad enough.
Yeah.
Not only did you not say no, you went and told.
Yes.
That's terrible. And let's just, my buddy texted us in the group chat. He was like, he was a bad guy in kayfabe too because he had lust in his eyes for his friend's wife. He was like, he was a bad guy in kayfabe too.
And Savage, to his credit, was just, I don't ever believe that anything would happen between Hogan and Elizabeth. But when Savage and Elizabeth divorced, and they lived, Hogan and Savage had houses near each other in Florida. And when Savage found out that Elizabeth was staying with Hogan and his wife, that's when Savage went off and gave Hogan the black eye before WrestleMania 6.
That's right.
Not to say, again, I'm not saying Hogan did anything, but that's more on Savage being in real life. We're talking about kayfabe. Savage didn't want anyone touching Elizabeth.
Mm-mm.
I mean, if you took a picture with Randy and Elizabeth, Savage had to be between you and Elizabeth. even with Trump in when he was WrestleMania 4, all their
even with.
Yeah, I want to get a picture with Elizabeth, and Savage was standing between them. So yeah, so Randy was on another
Randy
with that.
Knew.
And I mean, you could have given Hogan a black eye for many things, but that was probably one of the few times I don't think he deserved it because she was just staying with him, and he found out that way.
Yeah.
But Hogan, you can't separate. Well, just concentrate on Hogan the wrestler because Hogan the wrestler wasn't. I can do that with I can do with OJ. I can do it with Ty Cobb. I can do that with Ray Lewis.
Ty Cobb, huh? That's pretty good.
Ty Cobb beat a man to death because a fan yelled at him, "You're playing like an N-word."
Yeah, and he went to beat the shit out of him. I know.
Yeah.
I'm remembering all the other times, though.
I didn't know how bad Ty Cobb was till I watched the movie with Tommy Lee
with
Jones.
Tommy Lee Jones and Robert Wool and Derek.
That's being nice.
And they really toned it down a lot.
I started to read about him, and I was like,
yeah.
God damn, what a piece of shit. All right.
The book that movie was based on, even the others, and one like
I know
that.
we have a hard out here, so I just wanted to end the show with, again, as far as wrestling, if you want to tell me separate the art for the artist, all of a sudden he had the whole Andre the Giant script on brand new note paper written out for him and Andre the Giant WrestleMania 3, although we never heard about it for 30 years before that.
Mm-hmm.
Liar. I don't care. Rest in piss. Craig, where can people follow you?
They can follow me later on tonight at the Fantastic Four screening in the Real D4D.
Well, buy a ticket. Don't just follow him into the theater. You get thrown out.
You're not going to get it if you follow me. But in the meantime, you can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, Twitter. If you want to read the Hogan post that I mentioned before, it's probably all over the internet, getting taken down by racists across the United States. And at Craig Lagon, CraigLiGeon.
You can't say that.
I just did.
I'm pretty sure I did. Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Mastodon, Blue Sky, Spoutable, Pixel Fed, Threads, TikTok. I already said that. YouTube, Twitch, DanLaw83 for Craig Lagans. Derek is not on social media, so fuck off. For Craig Lagans, I am the above average comedian Dan Calachico. Keep it on the paper. We'll see you next week.
And there you have it. It's the end of the show. It's the end of the show, motherfucker.